Giovanni Verrazano, who have sailed up the Narrows into the Lower Bay, leading to the Upper Bay, New York Harbor, and Manhattan Island.
Good afternoon, my name is Angelo Vivolo, and I want to thank Arthur Piccolo for bringing to our attention the history of Giovanni Verrazano. In 1524, on this day of April 17th, this is the 499th anniversary, and we are looking forward to the 500th anniversary in 2024. It should be a spectacular event to celebrate this great discovery by a great Italian. I'm honored to be here to represent the Columbus Citizens Foundation, a cultural and philanthropic organization, probably best known for putting on the Columbus Day Parade every year. We hope to have a year full of celebration dating in next year on this day, April 17th, 2024, to celebrate another great Italian, Giovanni Verrazano. Thank you very much.
Originally, he left with 4 ships, but very quickly hit a storm, had to turn around, and only had 1 usable ship left. And by golly, in the year 1524, he said, I got 1 ship, I'm leaving. His ship was called the Dauphine. He had 8 months worth of provisions. He had a crew of 50 men. The ship was about 100 tons. And in about 40 days, they spot Cape Fear off the coast of North Carolina. Some scholars put it a little further south in Georgia. So he went just north enough to start mapping the coastline. And early into his mapping of the coastline, he came across these barrier islands. Verrazano explored the coastline of what is now the United States of America. He kept a short, brief, but very important record, and so this very much is a story about the United States, and to that end, islands. Verrazano, he spots Manhattan Island. He's the first European who finds it. He sees it. He names the area. He's at the head of the Hudson River. Decades! 80-something years before Henry Hudson. So Verrazano has beat the English to Manhattan Island, and beat the Dutch to Manhattan Island, to what will be New England. Going further up the coast, to the area of what is now Maine, that Verrazano hit some parts of what would now be the mid-Atlantic and the southern Atlantic portion of the United States that Europeans had never been to before. And this entire time he had 1 ship. He explored the coastline, where the water is shallow, and there are reefs and rocks and shoals, all unmapped. There's no pre-existing maps to go off of. Now, we've heard of explorers who leave with 5 ships, 6 ships, and they are still missing. We still don't know what happened to them. Verrazano made this entire trip with 1 ship, and on his map, a huge chunk of what is now the United States of America. And we know what happened to Verrazano. So many explorers have just disappeared into the mists, into the waters, onto the land we don't know. But in 1528, just a couple years afterwards, Verrazano was on an expedition to the Caribbean. Coming to an island, he saw natives on the shore. He took a small boat from his ship to reach them. What happened next, his brother witnessed from the main ship. Once he reached the shores, the natives seized him and murdered him. And right there on the beach, the natives cooked and ate him, while his brother looked on helplessly.
Hi, my name is Marie Palladino, and I'm the head of education at the Italian American Museum on Mulberry Street in Little Italy. I am here representing Dr. Joseph V. Scelsa, founder and president of the Italian American Museum. On behalf of the museum, we are excited to be here today alongside our amici at the Columbus Citizens Foundation and the Bowling Green Association to commemorate a very important milestone of Italian achievement. Giovanni da Verrazano was the first European explorer to sail into New York Harbor and into the Hudson River. We are so honored to count down to 1 year from today, April 17th, 2024, when we will be celebrating the 500th anniversary of his arrival. The Italian American Museum will be educating the public at large on the great explorer's monumental achievements. In order to do this, the Italian American Museum plans to incorporate Verrazano into our curriculum, exhibits, and public programming. Thank you so much.
The great Italian explorer, Giovanni Verrazano, is the first non-native American ever to come to what would become the greatest city on earth, New York City. It was on this day, April 17, 1524 that Giovanni Verrazano sailed into New York Harbor. The first non-Native American ever to see what would become New York City, the discoverer of New York City. He sailed into the harbor with his crew, one ship, the Delfina. And he also, during that one day in this harbor, met and interacted very favorably with the Native Americans. Verrazano also stepped onto this island, Manhattan Island, again, the first non-Native American ever to do so. We're here today, a few of us are here today, on the 499th anniversary of this very important moment in American history, and the most important anniversary in all of New York history, and in many ways the greatest day of all for Italian Americans, because this was the beginning of this incredible, now 499-year journey. We're standing here today because next year on April 17th, 2024, is the 500th anniversary of Verrazano's great journey of discovery. We're here with the intent and the purpose and the interest in making sure that New York City celebrates in great ways next year for the 500th anniversary, for the entire year, but especially on April 17th, 2024, that there is a magnificent celebration in honor of Giovanni Verrazano and the 500th anniversary of the European discovery of what would become New York City. I and a few others have gathered to make note of the fact and to begin a one-year countdown to next year, to next April 17th, 2024, the very first important anniversary in New York City history, the 500th anniversary of the European discovery of New York City. I am Arthur Piccolo, Chairman of the Bowling Green Association.
Giovanni Verrazano have sailed up the Narrows into the Lower Bay, leading to the Upper Bay, New York Harbor, and Manhattan Island.